Okay. How are you, by the way? How's everything going?
Great, great. I mean, taking it day by day.
Yeah.
Everybody's healthy, so that's a good thing. And yeah, I'm in California right now. The family, I'm living with the host family. We
Okay.
all went to Big Bear this past weekend just to get in nature, escape everything, and it's all good.
Awesome. 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 So the people that do not know you, can
Can you
you
hear me?
introduce yourself and who you are and whatnot?
Okay, yeah, sure. Hey everybody, or hello. My name is Sakura Kokumai. I am a Team USA karate athlete, recently qualified for the Tokyo Olympics 2021. And yeah, I'm just here to answer some questions today. So pretty
Awesome.
excited.
Awesome. All right. So everyone that knows you, of course, they know you for you doing kata and whatnot. What's your story? How did you start karate, and where did you start?
Well, I started at the age of 7. I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and that's where I started karate. My mom basically threw me into YMCA class because I needed something to do after school, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, she saw me enjoy practicing karate. So from YMCA, we moved to a karate dojo,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was introduced to karate there. So I really enjoyed being around friends. I wanted to be like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was in that dojo. So from there, that just like sparked a fire in me to keep training. And yeah, here I am. I think I just continued just purely out of love of karate. Um, I started competing internationally at the age of 14. That's when I
Mm-hmm.
made the junior team for the US. And then from there, I just loved traveling and competing and
Mm-hmm.
just the process of it all. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. What style did you at the YMCA when you first started? What style was that?
Oh, Shtoryu.
Shitoru. All
It was
right.
Shtoryu.
And what
Yeah.
sensei? Was it the same sensei you moved to the dojo with, or it was different
Yeah,
sensei?
so when I was at YMCA, I believe Elisa Al was
Alisa.
teaching.
Uh huh.
And then from there, the dojo I moved to was Kotaka Sensei. So
All right. So IKF.
George, like, yeah, it was a powerhouse,
Yeah.
right? Like Shannon, Amy, like everybody was there. So those are the people that I looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
Awesome.
Shtoryu base.
Yeah. No, there. That's a good dojo.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
Sensei.
I'm very thankful that early in my career I was able to be in that kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of styles, though, I didn't know that styles existed when I started karate.
Really.
So
This is it. This
I
is
would
only
start off
it.
as Shtoryu, right? I would
Uh huh.
start off as Shtoryu in Hawaii, and then my family is all from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
When I was back in Japan, I think my parents wanted me to continue karate for a little bit. So they're like,
Okay.
oh, okay, we found a karate dojo. Here you go. And then there was a Shotokan school.
Mm-hmm. Did.
Right. So then I was like practicing Shotokan. And I was like, no, this is different. Like, is this karate? Like the styles, the stances are all different. And then
What?
that's when we found out that there was styles.
And you didn't
So
like Shotokan at
funny
all, huh?
story. Huh?
Did you like Shotokan when you did it, or like, nah,
Oh
this is
yeah,
not
yeah.
it?
No, I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it. But I realized it was different, right? So
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
but
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, for sure, for sure. Now, with your, who's your sensei now that you're training under? Are you training under anybody, or are you just doing like solo, or?
Currently, I'm kind of doing solo in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I started learning from Inoue Sensei at
Yeah.
the age of 16, 17. He is a sensei who passed away like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and he lived in Japan. So I started working with him since 16, 17, and he passed away. So ever since
Mm-hmm.
then, I kind of just doing my own thing. But thankfully, there has been a lot of individual senseis that who reached out to me,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always a place where I can go back to in that sense. So I say solo, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I have so many other senseis who support me and who gives me tips here and there.
No,
So
that's good. That's
yeah,
always good because
yeah,
you always have to evolve. There's always things to learn, So
exactly,
that's
exactly.
good. That's good. So where are you now? You said you're in California, or?
I am.
Yeah.
I am in Los Angeles. I guess like north of Los Angeles. I live in
Okay.
Santa Clarita with a host family here.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So kata or kumite? Everyone knows you for kata, but Have you done kumite before or no?
I have, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In
As I
competition?
mentioned, Hawaii, the dojo in Hawaii is, they want us to do both.
Yeah.
We were taught that you need to do karate in order to, be a karateka. You have to do two things, right?
Yeah.
In their case, it was like three because we did kobudo too.
Mm-hmm.
But I love kumite. I love sparring. I went to nationals and competed there, and actually made the team when I was 14, 15.
For
So
kumite.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
I still move around, but I love it. I love it. I love
That's
it. Every chance I get, I
uh-huh.
kind of just like spar with people, and
That's good.
obviously I get kicked, but it's
Yeah.
still fun.
No, because a lot of people nowadays, you pick either or, and you only go to competition and just do like one. There's not a lot of athletes that do both, especially like
Yeah.
in WKF. Yeah, like
Hmm.
there's only you either do kata or kumite. So,
Yeah.
do you know a lot of people that go to like those tournaments and do kata and kumite, or does everyone just do either or?
Um, Obviously, when you go to WKF events, bigger for seniors, you would see athletes pick one or the
Mm-hmm.
other. The juniors, though, I see a lot of younger athletes do both, which
Both.
I think is an amazing thing, and they should.
Yeah,
But when you look at the senior competitions, you almost see athletes pick one.
just either or. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we know
Which
you.
makes sense, I
No,
guess.
it does. It does. And I kind of prefer that. Like, I actually, a lot of organizations or confederations, when you go to like your tournaments, you do both, kata and
Mhm, mhm.
kumite. A lot, what I see with WKF, you either pick either one, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
hey, what can you do?
I know, but I love seeing junior athletes do both though.
It is good.
I love it. I love it,
Same
and they
here.
should.
I
Um,
definitely agree. So we know you as a kata person. What is
mhm.
your favorite kata like to do, or katas like?
Favorite kata is the question, right? The
Yeah.
question. It's hard. I enjoy performing all katas, but if I were to pick one
Mm-hmm.
or two, it would probably be Suparimpe,
Uh huh.
or the new kata is, I guess, Papuren.
Pop it. Okay, that's a good kata. I seen you do it. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I enjoy katas where I'm able to show slow movements, fast movements.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a good mixture of everything.
Yeah.
So I prefer those katas.
Super Empe is so long. You don't get tired doing Super Empe. Like when I look
It
at that,
is.
when I look at someone do Super Empe, I'm just like, it's so long. Like you're not tired, like. Nah, but you got to condition
I
your
definitely
body.
don't get tired.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's a long kata.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think you can enjoy it more.
Mm-hmm.
If you do an amazing supanipe, it doesn't feel like it's a 4 minute, 3 minute kata.
Yeah.
So I think that's one part I enjoy performing, that making people feel this a certain way,
For sure.
watching that long kata.
Uh-huh. No, I agree
Yeah.
because some people, when you watch it, people that don't actually understand the kata and like the movement, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a waste of like 3 or 4 minutes, But someone that actually understands it, like you, when you watch it, you're just like, wow, like she knows what she's doing. She knows the application of each of the movements and whatnot. It's
Right,
basically
right.
telling a story. Some people do good at telling a story in their katas, and some just don't, and it's just like, just stop.
Yeah. Practicing is, it takes a long time though. But
It
the good
does.
thing is, it's a sequence of the same movements for
Mm-hmm.
Subaribe, so
Yeah.
it works out.
No, for sure, for sure. So, tell us your favorite place that you've been to, or competition.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a lot of places, and I wish I could explore more when I
Mm-hmm.
visit these, different countries and cities,
Mm-hmm.
because usually it's just in and out, right? Like
Yeah.
you go to a new country, you go to hotel, rest, venue.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's a hard one. Because every place that I've been, I always like enjoyed. But I gotta say, gosh, I always enjoy Paris. I think it's one of my lucky city too, because
Okay.
every time I go there, I always tend to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But I really love the city. Dubai is a very enjoyable city
Dubai
too.
is
It's
nice.
just a different vibe compared to where I visited. Every country has its own thing.
Yeah.
I would love to go back to Peru.
Peru. Peru's
Um,
nice. Yeah.
uh,
Peru. What's tournaments
it's
in
so hard to
Peru?
pick one.
No, you can't just pick one. You have to pick multiple. No, it's all good. Now,
One.
okay. So what you said you like Paris. So obviously Paris Open, which that's like in January, right? January
Yes. Yeah.
usually. So that's like your favorite competition to compete in, or is there another
Mhm.
competition like one of your
Oh,
favorite yearly to
I
compete
love
in?
Paris Open. Paris Open, they always do an amazing job organizing an event,
Mm-hmm.
and it kicks off. It starts the year too because it's in January every
Okay.
single year. It kind of sets the tone for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe of the tournament is great. Obviously, you have athletes from all over the world, top athletes who comes in ready to prepare to start the year strong. So
Mm-hmm.
that vibe itself kind of brings the competition to a very high level. And yeah, I gotta say that is one of my favorite
Yeah.
Premier League tournaments.
Yeah, you got to start off the year right. Paris Open
Yeah,
is it? Are they doing
yeah.
it this year, this upcoming year, or no? Have they said anything
Uh,
about it, or no?
well, this year we already had Paris Open 2020. It was
For
before the
2020?
COVID thing
Yeah.
starting, so there was already a Paris tournament. Hopefully, there's going to be another one next year,
Okay.
but
They
we'll
haven't
just have
mentioned
to wait and
anything yet.
see.
Did
Yeah.
they cut off all the rest of the premier tournaments for this upcoming year, right? For
Yeah,
2020.
they cut everything since March,
Okay.
end of March. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. Hopefully everything dies down and Paris Open. You guys can start fresh with the Paris Open in January,
I know
2021.
that's what I'm hoping for.
We'll see what happens. So tell us, what is your biggest accomplishment for like either competition or just in general, karate wise?
Biggest accomplishment. I have two.
Okay.
If I were to pick,
Mm-hmm.
the first one it's got to be 2012 World Championships in Paris.
Okay.
That was my first world medal. I won. I got bronze that year.
Okay.
And I was that tournament was very special to me because obviously the standing on the podium, right, to
Mm-hmm.
win a world medal meant a lot. But at the same time, I was able to share the podium with Rika Usami.
Mm-hmm.
She became world champion that year. I don't know if you've seen that video where everybody did a standing ovation.
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. She's
Yeah.
so good. Oh my gosh, she's really
Yeah,
good.
so that tournament was special. I was training with her leading up to that tournament. We both had the same sensei, Sensei. So
Mm-hmm.
like everything emotionally, everything clicked that
Yeah.
tournament. And that opened doors a lot to me. That's when I realized like, oh wow, like I'm here. I was young too. I think I was like 20, 19, 20.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Wow.
But it was still my second world championship.
Mm-hmm.
I just went in just to do my best, and I was able to stand on the podium. So that was just that experience was amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is the most recent Pan Am Games, I think 2019.
Okay.
It was my first Pan American Games. Kata was never in the tournament, like Pan Am Games itself. So it was my very first.
Really?
I really enjoyed the environment, being in an athlete village, just being surrounded by athletes, not just in karate, but all sports.
Nice.
And I was able to win in that tournament. So yeah,
She made it. She made it. I won. Nah. So tell us, pizza or tacos? Pick one.
Was it what?
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza or tacos? Oh, pizza.
Pizza. What kind of pizza?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. That's your favorite.
Pepperoni pizza.
Oh man, pepperoni. No, it's good. It's cool.
No.
So no, I can't. I don't do pepperoni. But so what is your diet? Talking about pizza. Do you are you working out on a daily basis? Conditioning drills, strength and conditioning. Tell us about that. Like, how do you split
Talk
everything?
about training
Yeah,
or
talk about your training. How do you split your conditioning, your kata training, and whatnot on a daily?
talking about old school. I think I'm more old school in the sense that I like to stick with karate,
Okay.
and I used to. I'm not gonna say not care, but a lot of my strength training kind of came from karate practice,
Okay.
especially kata and basics.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of those people that says, "Oh, like I was." If you were to ask me my strength training, regimen, like 3 to 4 years ago, I would have just answered, "Oh, I just do Shiko stance, back and forth,
Sure.
back and forth," and that was about it.
Mm-mm. You don't hold no
um,
weight. No, that's
yeah,
cool though.
but recently, I kind of do still though. Majority of my training consists of karate training,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe 2 to 3 times a week, I would focus on. I guess like strength training, which
Okay.
involves a lot of balance and core, um, like sprinting, a lot of leg work.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to just like name one thing, but
Yeah.
you would see me do a lot of things when it comes to strength training, and I like to balance two things right now. Only because we don't have any competitions too.
Yeah.
I always enjoy doing different things, different random things, and it keeps me sharp when I
Awesome.
do. So.
That's good. 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 No, I agree with that. Like before, I was never like younger at a younger age. I was never doing really like conditioning drills. It was only just um, your horse stance or your kokusadachi and
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know like sprints. But I would never push ups. We did like just different calisthenics like that, but nothing like with weights or anything. But
Yeah,
now
yeah,
everything changed. Now everyone focuses on weight training for like speed explosive movements and whatnot.
right,
So
right.
so
Yeah, and I think I'm learning that it's also important to be strong as like to be an athlete,
hmm
but at the same time, again, I'm pretty old school in that sense where I always like to emphasize more on karate training than
hmm
strength and conditioning, and I think that helps me perform like I wasn't better kata, but
hmm
I feel my body feels more tuned in when I focus on those things too. But
Gotcha.
balance, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And the rules keep changing,
hmm
and I'm still competing, and it's really important to adapt, and it's really important to learn, and I'm realizing that strength and conditioning holds a huge aspect of it too. So learning.
Well, hey, look at you. You're like number one in the U.S., right? For kata, am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
And look
yeah,
at
you
you
got it.
traveling
Yeah.
all around, to these different WKF tournaments, and like you're up there. So obviously you're doing something right. Look
Yeah, I
at
like
you.
to think so. Like
Yeah.
every time I go and compete and I have a good result, I was like, okay, I'm doing okay. Like this is good.
Yeah.
This is
All right.
working.
Yeah. No, that's good. Awesome. So like, all right. Obviously, everyone knows you're number one in the states
Mhm.
for kata. Now, how does that play? Okay, uh, for people that don't know, obviously you were chosen for the Olympics. How did you get chosen for the Olympics? How many people were there? Were they gonna choose to go to the Olympics from the U.S.? Like, do you know any of that information or like?
Yeah, it's super complicating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try explain it as, easy as possible. There's 8 categories for
Mm-hmm.
the Olympics in karate. And if I were to male kata, female kata, and you have 3 weight classes for male and female.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a total of 8. For each category, you can only get 10 athletes.
Okay.
So 10 athletes per category. And these 10 athletes, this spot is
Mm-hmm.
not open to certain countries. It's like an open spot. So
Oh wow! Really?
just to so USA as a country does not have that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like you individually have to qualify to get there. So that's a big difference compared to other sports where each country has a spot,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or each continent, and you have qualifiers
To go for that one
be
spot.
chosen.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But for karate, we only have 10 spots. And how I qualified was I won that first top 4 phase. So out of 10, there's 3 phases
Okay.
to qualify.
All right.
The first phase goes out to top 4 athletes in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So top 4 world ranking,
Okay.
right? And how do you make that top 4? You have to go to these Premier Leagues to
Yep.
get points and to win, and so you can add these points to get yourself into the top ranking.
Gotcha.
And this was a 2-year process.
All right. All right.
And that's why you saw us all compete in all these tournaments, all these Premier Leagues, because our goal was to compete to win points so that we can be in this position where we can qualify for the games. Now, gosh, the COVID-19 kind of changed a lot of things.
Yeah, it screwed everything up.
It screwed everything. But before they announced the postponement of the games, they announced the first phase of athletes, that top 4. And at the time, I was ranked 5th.
Okay.
Japan gets a spot because it's a host country.
Yeah, of course.
So that's where that's where I qualified.
Okay.
Due to the COVID-19, they canceled 2 events towards the end, and they just announced that top 4. And they announced that they're bringing those 2 competitions back next year. So you will see a lot of shifts as to who qualified. I have enough points, so I believe that I don't have to worry too much, thankfully.
Yeah, right.
But it's crazy. The pandemic changed a lot of things for the athletes, and that top 4 basically is not the top 4 anymore because they're gonna bring back those 2 lost events that they canceled. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So for people that like I hardly compete in the WKF. Now let's say if someone that's coming into the WKF like competitions and they're trying to go to the Olympics, and they're starting off with 0 points,
right?
So how do you? Of course, you have to keep on like winning, of course, to get those points up. So like with you, I don't know how many points you have or how many points you need to be that high. Like if I'm trying to get to the Olympics and I have 0 points and I'm trying to get first place, if I keep on winning first, how long will it take for me to to achieve all those points and whatnot just to make it to the Olympics?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question. Again, the Olympic qualifier process started 2 years ago with the points. So it depends on.
So they have a start date and end date of when you can. So do the points reset? So you can.
Yeah. So the points reset every 2 years, and that's why the cycle is 2 years. And when you look at the world karate ranking, and I hope I'm saying this right, but the points changes, and it's and that's every 2. It's a 2-year cycle.
Gotcha.
And again, out of those 10, the first phase goes out to the top 4 athletes, but then there's also a second phase and a third phase.
Gotcha.
And the second phase is like a one-shot thing where you have to compete at a qualifier tournament, and whoever wins a medal in that tournament qualifies for the Olympics. So there's different chances, and there's different avenues where you can qualify for the Olympics. The difference is karate is such a narrow window because there's only 10 spots. But how long? I'm just gonna say 2, only because the points reset every 2 years.
2 years. Makes sense.
But there's different ways to qualify. So I think it's just a matter of the strategy of which approach you're going to. But
that's so in the state. So you were chosen for the state. Was anyone else chosen to go from the states? No, it was just you basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be exciting. Like, listen, I'm the only one that's chosen for the U.S. Like, no, just playing.
I didn't. I really didn't.
That's a blessing, though.
It wasn't until people
awesome.
told me.
What was that?
It wasn't until people really told me what that meant.
Yeah.
You know, because I was just so into it because like my goal was, okay, I gotta qualify, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to win, and I need to get points so that I can go to the Olympics. But when they put it in that context,
Mm-hmm.
say no, you are the first and you are the only, right, like athlete that was chosen. I was like, oh wow, huh.
Yeah.
Like that didn't even cross my mind
No.
until people told me.
Like I want to know like how like what you were feeling like after when it like actually hit you like wow like I'm chosen to go to the Olympics like what how did you feel like after
Yeah,
that?
okay, so that's where I was on an emotional roller coaster because the last Premier League qualifying tournament that I competed in was in March, which was
Okay.
in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the pandemic, the COVID-19 started spreading. So as I was in Austria, they postponed the last Premier League, right? They said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're moving this tournament to this location. Oh, this tournament might get postponed. So the qualifier itself at that time kept changing,
Mm-hmm.
right? In my head, I knew that I had enough points. I did all the calculations, so I knew I was like, okay, even let's say those two tournaments happen, and let's say this scenario happens,
Mm-hmm.
I will still be okay because I have enough points. But the thing is, nothing has been official, right?
Yeah.
So all this emotional up and downs, like okay, there might be a tournament, there might not be. This constant thing kept going for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I knew I had enough points,
Mm-hmm.
yes, but the qualifier got postponed, canceled. Like okay,
Gosh, what's
but
going
what does
on?
that mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, what does that mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I spent 1 week extra week in Austria because so many situations. Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways, it was just an emotion up and down. I came back from that tournament in Austria. I came back to California, and still, everything was still like an unknown,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You didn't know what was happening.
Are we qualified? Are we not?
Yeah.
Are they still gonna do the qualifier this year? Is Olympics even gonna happen? Like it was just this constant up and down, up and down. And people kept telling me, no, you have enough points. Like you're good. You have enough points. And I was like, but it's not official. Like we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it was not that one moment where I realized like, okay, I qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that qualifier tournament in Austria, it was just like constant up and down, up and down. Right when I think WKF posted the first phase of athletes, as soon as I saw it in writing on a website, that's when I found out. That's when I was able to tell myself, okay,
relax.
I qualified.
Yeah, right?
Right?
Wait, did I read this? My name is right there saying I qualified. But did I qualify? No.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Like, does this seem right? Wait, what? So that emotional roller coaster took a lot of energy. And I'm sure I wasn't the only person. I'm sure it was the same for everybody.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw it in writing, and then I started getting calls. Right, I started getting calls from friends. I got a call from a federation, which was, that's when I was like, okay, I qualified. Yeah. But after that call, I think all the emotion I was just in tears.
Yeah.
Because it was a 2-year process, and we were all just in the limbo for a couple of weeks because we just didn't know. And as soon as I saw it in writing, as soon as I started getting calls, was when I was able to celebrate a little bit at home.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. That's a good feeling. Like, I know if I got qualified, I know I'd probably be crying.
Yeah.
No. A little tear will probably come out, But that's an awesome feeling. It's a blessing, I'm happy that you made it and everything, and I know
I was in tears.
I bet. I know you'll do good when the Olympics comes around and and you compete and whatnot. I know you'll come out doing good.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wish you the best with that. So how long do you want to compete for? Like, do you say, like, give me like another 5 years and I'm gonna retire? Then probably open up a school. Is a school you owning a school in your near like in your future? Is that something you want to do, or are you just competing for now and not even thinking about teaching?
Well, the pandemic has definitely allowed me to think and give me more room to just think about my future more.
Mm-hmm.
To answer the question, how long will I compete? I honestly don't know. The Olympics has been a huge goal of mine, so I haven't really planned anything after that. But at the same time, there are a lot of exciting events happening after the Olympics too.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the World Games is going to be in the U.S. and there's Pan Am's Worlds is still going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
So if my body allows, I think I would compete. But at the same time, I would like to explore more things on the other side, which is like coaching and teaching too.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been passionate about teaching. I love working with kids, and I'm hoping that this Olympics will allow people to know more about karate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want, yes, I think everybody has a dojo. I think everybody would say, "Oh, I want to open a dojo,"
Mm-hmm.
and definitely, it is something that's on my mind. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how, I don't know where, in what kind of form, but
Mm-hmm.
I want karate to be accessible to everybody. I don't want it to just be karate for just karate people.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to provide karate to different people from all ages, from all groups, and I think that will allow. Um, the only thing is karate with the Olympics. This is the first and the last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
For now,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure that we're remember doesn't sound like a right word to use, but I want Kata to stick around more,
For sure.
within the community, within just the world in general.
Yeah.
And I don't know how or what it's going to be like, but I want to just create an environment where it's accessible to everybody. So whether that's a dojo, whether that's more an environment in school, like I don't know, but in some that kind of form, I'm
Understandable.
yeah.
Understandable. You mentioned the Olympics. I heard a lot about this was all right. This was the first year karate is going to be in Olympics. Then they were gonna cut it off and take karate out.
I think if I understand it correctly, for now, karate. This is, I guess, like the first and the last that we're
First
part
one,
of the
the
Olympic
Olympics.
Games.
Gotcha.
And this is where everything is just a lot of rumors too, right?
Yeah.
Because we might come back, or there might be a chance that we're back in 2024, right? These are things I actually honestly don't know.
Yeah.
What it's really like, but what I've heard, this is a first and the last for now.
Gotcha.
But I'm hoping, I'm trying to be optimistic and hope that we will come back in some form.
Sure.
I think we just need to get our sport more out there, more noticeable to people, more, to the world, because, yeah.
I definitely agree. I think karate needs to get back. Like in the 80s, like karate was like huge. Everybody wanted to do it. Early 90s, everybody wanted to do karate. You hear about the Karate Kid. Then it's like up here karate. Then it's like, then it dives. A lot of people don't take karate as like a sport. When you look at all these other sports in the Olympics, like I don't know, like rollerblading or something, or these other things that you look at, I'm like, this is a sport. This is, and karate's not in here, But when I look at it, I'm like, okay, I kind of understand. With the WKF, they have their certain rules. JKA, they have their rules. WKF, WKC. There's so many confederations, organizations, and no one's on like the same page. It's
Right.
like taekwondo. It's either boom, boom, and they have kind of like the similar the point system,
Right.
and that's why they're in the Olympics. But with
Mhm.
karate, there's so many different um, confederations and whatnot with different rules, and
Right.
I don't want to say that's the reason why we not going to be in the Olympics anymore. But I think with karate, we have to come to like a median and figure out how we can continue to keep karate in there,
Yeah.
because
And I think
everyone.
it's just a matter of exposure too.
Hmm.
Because we haven't been in the Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Everybody knows karate, right? That's, oh, I do karate.
Yeah.
But what do you really know?
Yeah. Right.
You know, like you
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I've never broken any boards
Hmm.
before. You know,
Yeah.
it's like what do you really know about karate? So I think
Hmm.
it's just a matter of exposure too
Oh,
about
I
the
can see that.
sport.
Yeah.
Obviously with the as a martial art too, but as a sport, I think it just needs to be more exposed
Hmm.
to the world more. And you, and I agree, we have a lot of styles, we have a lot of federations,
Hmm.
but when you look at it in the bigger picture, the population of people who practice the karate is,
Yeah. Huge. Yeah.
it's humongous. So it's like, how so again, I'm hoping that Tokyo 2020
Hmm.
will I hope we just put on a really good show, at the
Yeah.
Olympic Games, so that people will watch karate on TV at the Olympics. I think that itself is gonna
I feel it
um,
would. I
a
feel
lot.
that outcome would be. I think it would be good. I think a lot of people would want it to continue into the next Olympics. I think it will be. I think it will be good because the people that we have going to the Olympics, like you and whoever. I know Rio, right? I know he's gonna be. He's a beast.
He's a
Like,
beast.
yeah,
He's a
he's
beast.
crazy. He's a beast. But I know, like with all you guys there, like we have like the best around the world. That's going to be demonstrating, what we have for the karate world, and I know everyone's going to be super excited to see everyone, compete and whatnot.
I
So
know karate will be represented really well at the
exactly,
Olympics, I'm sure.
yes,
So I just hope that everybody catches that and sees that,
yeah,
because
definitely,
it's going to be great.
it will, it will.
Yeah.
So people that want to contact you and whatnot, how can they contact you? Instagram and or whatever social media that you have.
Yeah, I think I have like all social media platforms. Obviously, I'm on more Instagram than like Twitter
Mm-hmm.
or anything. But you can easily reach out to me through those social media platforms, and I try to go through messages.
Okay.
And ever since the pandemic happened, I've been doing a lot of online training.
Okay.
That's accessible to everybody, right? So I've been doing a lot of that in the past month or two. Some of my friends and I are trying to pair up so that we can provide that kind of training online, live.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. They're
Personally,
pretty
I can
good.
be reached out to through social media.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
What? So for people that don't know your Instagram, what is your Instagram name?
Sakura Kokumai, first name, last name, karate. Sakura
Okay.
Kokumai, karate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. If anyone wants to follow you, they can follow you and whatnot. I appreciate you joining me today for Get to Know Me. This is going to be episode 2. So,
Episode 2?
Episode 2. Episode
Yeah.
2. So, yes. I appreciate you joining me and thank you for letting me talk to you and whatnot.
No, thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes, we'll keep in contact for sure.
Yes,
Alrighty.
definitely.
All right.
All right. See you later. Bye.